Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. I ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.spreaker.com/show/Best Damn Podcast. Also, check out the bestdampodcast.tv. And make sure that whatever platform you're watching on, that you hit that like button, that you leave a comment, let me know what you think, and make sure to follow and subscribe. I'm trying to check and see if they've kicked me off the air already. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Please keep in mind, the best way to support is by sharing. Share this, get it out there. That way other people have a chance to see it. If you don't, they just flat out won't. And we are viewer powered, so consider donating and supporting today. And I'm not going to do the Best Damn Fam Live tonight. I wanted to do this. I did some sneaky stuff on the YouTube channels, and I wanted to see if it worked tonight and seeing if I would get kicked off or not. So let's see if it worked. But tomorrow night, I'll be doing the Best Damn Fam Live. That's a private and live, uncensored show, followed by a chat for everybody who supports in the month of May. And look, some people, let's just say that I've had a few complaints here recently about not being able to get in or not knowing, where it's at or all of that. Look, in every video, on every site, every platform, in the description, I have links there. Not just donation links, but the link to the Discord as well. You just click on that link and it takes you right to our Best Damn Podcast Discord server. And once you're there, it's not like there's a list of videos inside the Discord. You will see rooms that say Best Damn Fam Live, right? I usually even put out the link to the specific room the night that I do it. That's what you do. That's the time that I announce it, on that day. You just go there and you watch, and you'll be upgraded. If you mention at John or at Know Thyself, one of us will get you taken care of and get you the Best Damn Fam status. So, and if you're having problems or anything like that, or if you missed it, and you need some type of assistance beyond what we're doing there, then text 513-393-2396, 513-393-2396, or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. And please be patient. You got to understand, I got a lot of messages every day to go through, so if I don't hit yours immediately, it's not because I'm dissing you. It's just because I'm busy. So, let's see what we got in the chat. Yeah, you've been trying to keep the voice chat empty? Well, let them do their thing, man. I don't care at all, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. And before the show, yeah. Last time, guys, it's so cool that our rooms are filling up. People are waiting to get in and watch this. And the last time, this was the first time it's ever happened. The room was so overloaded, I couldn't even turn my video on. So I'm just saying, if you're watching this, if you're new to this channel, check it out. I'm serious. It's what YouTube and Facebook and all of that shit used to be, right? Where people could talk about real shit, right? Real things going on, and there's no filter, and you get to interact with me as well. It's pretty awesome. So, Know Thyself, the admin extraordinaire, Gabriel Ariana, howdy, Gabriel. Shirley Graham, Metatron's Cube, some clever name. Jason Acebus, I am Karen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining me here. And hopefully I haven't been kicked off yet. Charlotte Owens over on Facebook Live. Claudette Malespina. The Truth Spreader 101. Brian Harris. Rachel Kneebone. Sasquatch Pants. And Lauren, this is it. Tim Hamby. Thank you, guys. Nancy Lewis over on Facebook Live. Stormwood Skywatcher on D Live. James, the Old Hillbilly, and the U Channel. No, I put your guys' names together. It's Old Hillbilly and the U Channel. I put the Old Hillbilly. All right. Gina Dicer. Jane Go. Killing, I think. Killing it. Okay. So, it looks as if it worked. Whatever I did, I'm not saying what I did because I don't want it to, backfire in my face. Carla Keating, Jose Gonzalez, thank you guys. Tonight we're going to be getting into, well, from the title, that was just kind of more of a play on, the concept that's being presented in the iPet Goat short films or animations, whatever you want to call them. We will be kind of dissecting 2 and 3 tonight towards the back half of the show, because that's what it's saying is I am a pet goat too. Why, you ask? Well, that's the whole Luciferian theology, the whole principle of what they're doing to the masses right now. They are turning them into pet goats, right? To Azazel was ascribed all sin, okay? What this means, in my opinion, okay, let me always preface that with, in my opinion, and I'm no authority on anything, I'm just me, but in my opinion, what they're doing is part of this harvesting process. The fallen, the watchers, the governors, I mean, there's a million different names from them, and, we call them Nephilim. Their children are the ones who run the world, in my opinion. They are getting everybody to essentially give up their dark side, give up their sin, give up their light to this entity we call Satan, right? To this entity known as the Destroyer, Abaddon or Apollyon. To Azazel was ascribed all sin. So everything you do that's wrong, you blame it on the devil, right? Most people have no clue on how to transmute their darkness into light. So when we look at the process of what's taking place, the purifier, the destroyer that eats its children, Kronos, he eats his children. What they're doing is trying to distort every one of us, our energy, our frequency, our vibration, right? Why? Well, because our spirit is made of light. So they need to create it or alter the creation into a distortion so they can absorb it, so they can eat it, so they can devour it. Remember when in the Lost Book of Enki and, this whole Anunnaki tales, what did they do? They broke Tiamat into pieces so they could mine her golden veins. Gold is always representative of the heavens, right? Or the sky, or the spirit, right? The living spirit within you. They created a slave race to mine said gold. Well, guess what? We're that slave race, humanity. And it's not to mine physical gold. It's to mine spirit, right? That's why everything within this world is, and think about it too, they put you in a body that has got a governor on it, basically, right? You can't use no more than 10% of your brain at any given time. And they keep you in a perpetual state of emotion because emotion gives off spiritual energy. And this is how these archons, this is how these watchers, these fallen eat, right? They can't take it in pure light form because light destroys darkness. So what they have to do is bombard you with ugly, abstract, evil, upside down images, sounds, well, a world full of that to try to distort you, distort your vibration, distort your frequency, lower it to a state that they can absorb, right? And what we're seeing right now, and this is some weird shit, I guess, if you've never heard things like this, but what we're seeing right now is our world is being terraformed for these entities. And they're getting ready to come in for the big snack. And by big snack, I mean eat everybody. Yeah. When you think about the whole concept of Planet X, right? The X, which is across the crossing, the transitional planet. You're transitioning, most of you, to hell. That's where most of you will be transitioning to. Just saying. But the X is represented by the hex, right? The X is the hex, is the curse. You're being X'd out, meaning you're cursed, or you're marked, right? Branded. There's a few different names for this, but it's all the same, right? You have now given yourself over to, we can call him Satan, but his name's Apollyon or Abaddon. You've given yourself over to that, right? There's no spirit left in you. No living spirit left in you. Think about the Faustian bargain, and I like to bring this up as an example, right? People think that selling your soul is something that happens overnight, right? Like, okay, I'm going to sign a contract in blood. I'm going to do this ritual. I'm going to sacrifice this kid. I'm going to do all this shit, right? And this is going to sell my soul, right? Well, yeah, that's one way of doing it. You can do it in one knock like that, right? You can. But for the most part, people don't have to do that. Because every decision, every choice, every time that you essentially basically objectify yourself, right, to something that you would normally do, right? You go against your morals, you go against your values, and you do it for selfish and personal gain. Or you commit pure acts of evil and harm to your fellow man, right? All of these different things. Each time you do that, you're giving a little piece of yourself away, right? Each time. Matter of fact, check this out. Our spirit is our energy, our life force, right? They put us here in these bodies, and what's really wild about it is when your life force is drained, you die, right? Like a battery almost, right? When that battery is drained, you're old and you die. Not much left of you probably. Well, people, little do they realize, within their lives, everything that they do, everything that they focus on, everything that matters to them, they're giving their energy to. They're giving a piece of themselves to, right? People that are workaholics, well, that job, you're putting all of your energy into that job. Your children, you're putting your energy into your kids, right? This goes on and on with all of the different things that occupy our time within this third dimensional space. So most people, because they're focusing on things that are external constantly, right? They're building altars basically, right? They're building these altars by giving them pieces of themselves over and over and over externally, outside of themselves, right? It's like you get one spirit, so be careful how you spend it, right? Don't spend it all in one place. And it really is like that. These entities have designed this world through the system, right? The structure of the system. If humanity was kicking it in nature and within, even within this place, right? All balanced out with nature and one another, and there was no war, no technology, none of those things, we'd be just fine. We'd live super long periods of time. And when we died, we'd just come back in a new body and do it all over again. And, we'd probably ascend or transfigure really fast, right? But that's not the way this place is set up. This is the opposite of that, right? Matter of fact, you can look at throughout history, and this is just an opinion of mine, you can look at throughout history, every time that basically humanity reaches the pinnacle of consciousness, it looks like these big harvests happen. Think about the civilization of Atlantis, for instance. I happen to think that Atlantis was probably the culture that was hit by the deluge, right? Hit by the flood, if you think about it, right? Because you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, right? Let's pull those up. Emerald Tablets. What's he talk about? It disappearing underwater, right? Right here. Cool. Let's go into this for a minute. Just the story of him sinking, basically. And the children of Kim were the Egyptians, very much. Look, grew up I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father the elder mysteries, until a time there grew within the fire of wisdom, until it burst into a consuming flame. Naught desired I, but the attainment of wisdom, until on a great day the command came from the dweller of the temple that I be brought before him. Few there were among the children of men who had looked upon that mighty face and lived. And remember, I told you where that came from. That looked upon him and lived. Right? This came from Enki, in the Lost Book of Enki, when he was talking to Vayasudra before the Great Deluge, or the Flood, right? He says, if you look upon me, I'm talking to the reed wall, if you look upon me, surely you will die like all the other humans. This is the son, I believe, of Enki, Thoth is. That I be brought before him. Few there were among children of men who had looked upon that mighty face and lived. For not as the sons of men are the children of light, when they are not incarnate in a physical body. Chosen was I from the sons of men, taught by the dweller, so that his purposes might be fulfilled, purposes yet unborn in the womb of time. Long ago, or long ages, I dwelt in the temple, learning ever and ever more wisdom, until I too approached the light emitted from the great fire. Taught me he the path to Amenti, the underworld, where the great king sits upon his throne of might. Deep I bowed in homage before the lords of life and the lords of death, receiving as my gift the key of life. Free was I of the halls of Amenti, bound not by death to the circle of life. Far to the stars I journeyed until space and time became as naught. Then having drunk deep of the cup of wisdom, I took in the hearts of men, and there found I greater mysteries, and was glad. For only in the search for truth could my soul be stilled and the flame within be quenched. Down through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste the cup of death and return again in the light of life. Gradually, from the kingdoms of Atlantis passed waves of consciousness that had been one with me, only to be replaced by spawn of a lower star. In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into flower. Downward into darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans, until at least in his wrath arose from Agwanti, the dweller. This word has no English equivalent. It means a state of detachment. Speaking the word, calling the power, deep in earth's heart, the sons of Amenti heard, and hearing directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns eternally, changing and shifting, using the logos, until the great fire changed its direction. The logos, right? That's your persona, right? That's your persona. That's your low soul, basically. And but really it depends too on which text you're looking at it in. But most like Gnostic texts talk about the logos, that's your soul, right? And the spark is basically your living spirit, right? That animates the logos, right? And if you look here too, he's telling you exactly what has happened over the time, right? The word claimed the power deep in earth's heart, which is our heart, right? We are all pieces of earth. The sons of Amenti heard and hearing directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns eternally, changing and shifting, using the logos until the great fire changed its direction. Think about it, a host body system, right? And this is the Fibonacci sequence, a golden ratio. That's the flower he's talking about, the flower of life, right? And that they change directions. And now I believe it's going in a downward spiral instead of ascending upward, right? Up Jacob's ladder. It says, over the world then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance until only the temple of light was left standing on the great mountain of Undal, still rising out of the water. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. And see, this is, once again, we find ourselves, I believe, in a position not much unlike the Atlanteans here, guys. He talks about how, right here, downward into darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans, and until his wrath arose from Agwanti, the dweller. And he even says, where's it at here? Yes, only to be replaced by spawn of a lower star. By spawn of a lower star. If you will remember, and I don't know if I've done it in a long time, but the Divine Pyramander of Hermes Trismegistus talks about the governors, right, which are the stars, also the archons, the watchers, and that they influence us, right? Their frequency, their energy beams down on us day in, day out, and that's why. And I talk about this a lot, how the algorithm of you, right? It's the algorithm of you within the system. It's dictated by the position of the stars, the place of the sun and the moon, and what numbers are associated with the day, and all of those things, right? Well, Saturn, the god of this world, the Saturn sun, probably wasn't always the god of this world. We see now there is a lot of worship, and you can even think about this when you look at like Moses, right, or Akhenaten, when he talks about coming down from the mountain and they were worshiping a golden bull, right? The bull being Marduk. Marduk usurped Enlil, which Enlil would be Satan, right? Saturn. And that's what's happening now. This big giant cosmic shift where Saturn is returning to the throne for the first time in 24,000 years, right? It's been the age of Marduk ever since. Marduk being the god of war, right? He's Yahweh, by the way. That's who Marduk is. He's also the sun god Ra, right? And what we have seen is under, Marduk, and I don't want to, speak for every single age or civilization, but what it appears has happened is we have gradually went down and down and down consciously, right? Consciously. Even, and they talk about, Emmanuel Velikovsky talks about, the Bronze and the Iron Age and how they're going in the wrong direction. And, when you look at all of these resets, humanity hitting pinnacles and then boom, bottom and back out. We hit a pinnacle and then bottom out. And you even hear about in like the Vedic text and things like that, the different yugas, right? The different ages where we're around different suns, different stars, and how they influence the way that we behave, right? Matter of fact, our own star, our own sun, right? It determines how long we live. It determines our brain activity. It determines our emotional state. That's why in the Bible, when it's talking about, men's hearts failing for fear, right? It's a literal shock from the electromagnetism of whatever is up in the sky. It has a literal effect on the magnetosphere, which is disconnecting us from the alpha waves, and people go crazy, right? The perplexing of nations, right? This is why the revolutions and wars, this is why people are going apeshit, because the influence of the celestial spheres are making it so, right? They're all out of whack. They're not in the order or obeying the laws that they used to obey, right? They're now in different places and they're rearranging and changing, and humanity's doing the same thing. Matter of fact, they have an influence on us. And I've also talked about this too, that many cultures believe in the whole catastrophism, where each time we get destroyed, right, the breaking of Tiamat into pieces for her golden veins, each time we get destroyed, a new planet is created out of that destruction, right? It's a collision with Earth, which is us also, right? And boom, a new planet or a new star is created over and over and over. And now we have 7 of them, the 7 planets in our system. And this is the final time, right? This is the final one. The final time that we are actually hit by some type of cataclysmic, collision. And some people believe that the 144,000 are like those, like the 1,000 points of light. They're all pieces of that star. And maybe it's the 144 that actually make up that star, And if you look at, the Hopi prophecy and the return of the blue star Kachina and its effects, followed by the purifier, these are celestial entities, right? These are brothers, right? They have a familial relation, right? If you're a brother, you're conscious, right? It's not just a dead planet that just smashes into stuff. These planets are conscious because they're stars. There's no such thing as planets. Earth appears to be a star as well. And we are pieces of that star being used through destruction, right? To create rebirth out of this, mixing the elements. And what was it? Gary Parker. He actually, when he showed, I don't know if I can find the picture that he had brought up, which I got some crazy shit to show too tonight too. Like seriously, some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen. Our spark is undying, absolutely. 2 wolves, what one gets fed. That's pretty much the basic premise of it all. The Phoenix I Am. That's what it boils down to, right? Like, honestly, which wolf are you going to feed? And Gary Parker talked about this, that we vibrated out in the sand, right? And I did an interview with him, and in that story, it showed a river of souls, right? And in that river of souls, all of the bad ones, the ones that you would say went to hell, basically, right? They were in essence being sent there for purification, right? To make them pure, what we would call logos, right? Low man or soul, right? The little soul. Like, remember, the Egyptians believed in the big soul and the little soul. So the little soul would be your low man, right? The low man, your carnal side, your demon side, right? So they would be sent into hell, which hell means a consuming flame, right? Or to consume or burn up, right? They would be sent there to purify them into a demon to be able to put with a soul, because what they're doing here is refining souls, right? And the ones that graduate, so to speak, and transmute into light, well, they would be put with another light being and then added with a new soul, and then they'd have to transmute that darkness, and they keep ascending upwards while the darkness keeps descending downwards, right? And it's like this infinite cycle, right, of refinement going both directions for the purposes of these entities, because they devour the energy, right? They devour the energy. He even described the Anunnaki as being machines full of souls. Like you could look in one of them and you could just see all the faces of the people that were inside of them. You know what I mean? They were like translucent glass looking robot type shit. Pretty wild stuff. And do I know that that's true? No, I don't. Absolutely don't. Gary Park, is that okay? Okay, thank you, Justin. Matter of fact, let me copy this link here. Let's see if we can pull this up. I want to show the image here. This was one of my favorite works I've ever done, too, with Gary Parker. Hey. Know thyself. Everybody, why am I unsubscribed from Justin? Know thyself. There we go. Cool, man. Everybody go subscribe to, here, let me put his channel in the, everybody go subscribe to Justin here. Know thyself. Do it. I'm blocking you and banning you. Do it now. Just playing. But do it, please. Alright, where's it at here? Where's the image? Right there. It's this image right here, guys. This is the one that I'm talking about. Right? This is the one that vibrated out in the sand. And it's a giant alien head. Is what it is. This is at the Great Pyramids. You can see 1, 2, 3 pyramids and a giant fucking alien head. And when you take this image, it has like 3 or 4 layers. Which is so wild. And you can like shift your laptop and look at it, and the story of creation pops up in the sand too. And written in the sand, where's that at? Right here. Look at that. It's God and Lord of the underworld. That's what it says. Right out in the sand. Underneath this. Vibrates out in the sand. You can see the eye, the nose, and this giant head. And this is at the Great Pyramid. And this shit vibrates out in the fucking sand. God and Lord of the underworld. With the entire creation story. Let me see if I can get to that part here.
So that was my connection. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. Yeah, and also I showed a couple of the monks from the Greek Orthodox Church. I showed them the post-imbute. I said, guys, that's El, that's Abba, that's Yahweh, that's Hashem. And they go, no, we're not going to believe it. And I said, okay. Well, because they're stuck in that box that I'm talking about, that three-dimensional, we believe God's a human being box, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Just know this. In the past 5 years, I've put in 5 years worth of work into this stuff, so I'm not making it up.
No, absolutely. And throughout while you... And this is literally, guys, I hope you go watch this one. This is one of my favorite ones I've ever done. Gary shows you in it with the computer, and I mean literally, it is about the most wild fucking thing I've ever seen. Speaking of some wild shit, before we jump into the iPad goat stuff, look at what's going on in Colombia right now. Jesus, man, they're getting crazy.
Una cosa que uno entra en combate y ustedes pueden llegar a, ¿sí me entienden? A que muestren la realidad, porque pues ustedes saben.
And think about this too, and this is a prime fucking example of what I'm talking about, actually. right? You got people rioting and going ape shit in certain places, right? And then you've got people in the whole different end of the spectrum, right? That are basically like becoming, Christ-like. You know what I mean? They're ascending and coming into all of this knowledge and togetherness and unity and love, right? Oh, no problem, man. No problem. Yeah. That's one of my favorite videos I've ever done, guys. I literally did what the guy said. He I guess it's a ritual. I guess it's a ritual. But I performed it because I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I heard him on WSO is what I heard him on. And it was fascinating. His story was how he had met the Anunnaki and they showed him this image from NASA. And it was a real NASA image of the Great Pyramid. And it was on the exact day, 10 days before their arrival, which would be the arrival of the Antichrist. Right? It was like July 2nd, 2022, I think, was the date. And is that personal jets, military in the sky, 10,000? Yeah, well, we already know what's up. We already know what's up. Seriously. They're coming for each and every one of us. They're coming for each and every one of us. That's the truth. That's the truth. And we all know that. They're getting, all these cities burning and shit. Look at this, man. Look at some of this shit taking place. Not this. Where's it at here? This is a great Skydome Atlantis one. Hold on. This shit right here. And watch all the videos I got of this kind of shit. They're worshiping a fucking star, guys. Straight up. And they postponed the rocket launch again. Right? They postponed the rocket launch again. I don't know if it happened tonight. I doubt it. But this is what I mean, man. This shit's in the sky right now, and it is drawn to evil, it's drawn to negativity, but at the same time, our sun, the star of light, soul, is shifting into its highest chakra, right? It's going into its maximum, which is creating the opportunity for ascension, transfiguration. In my opinion, Jesus was the first one to ascend, to transfigure. And it put in the Akashic record the experience for all of us to follow him and do the same. Right? To transfigure and ascend. And who knows? Maybe the Mayans did it too. I don't know. But in this particular epoch, I believe it was Christ. And we can all, and he says, you'll do greater works than me. Right? So he's telling you can do the same or greater even. Hold on. So now, what did I just get here? Calling for the mayor's blood in Portland. What? Pretty wild shit, man. Let me see what video it is so I can pull it up on the screen. Portland. Life threatened. think it's this one.
So I feel an obligation for us to talk about Portland. The reason we talked a bit about Mayor Wheeler having done something unusual last time, which is he stood up and said,
claim ownership of this movement just leads to more system, whether it be black and power, have proven that they are unwilling to listen and have made the choice to him are more important than human lives. The mayor of this city is undeserving of his position. He has made it abundantly clear that windows to him are more important than human lives. But we are not just challenging the idea of having Ted as a mayor. We are challenging the idea of having mayors at all. We want abolition. Abolition is absolute. If peaceful marches, speeches, and voting were enough to bring about that goal, then we would have already been there. Window smashing and riots are a necessary escalation when those in power have proven that they are unwilling to listen and have made the choice to ignore you. We are moving with a sense of urgency because not only is the system destroying us, it's destroying the very planet that we live on. This movement encompasses the liberation of all those oppressed by the system, whether it be black, indigenous, Hispanic, etc. Nobody owns this movement, and wanting to or trying to claim ownership of this movement just leads to more division, which is counterproductive to all of our goals. We are on the same side though, and the more time we spend fighting each other, the less energy we have to fight the true enemy. So let's start local, with our own city's failed leadership. Ted, we are asking for the last time that you resign. If you ignore this message outright, the destruction to your precious way of life is going to escalate. Blood is already on your hands, Ted, but next time, it may just be your own.
Say what? That's some fucking crazy shit. Thank you for saying that. Oh gosh. Wow, guys. And this is what I mean. Like, this is the deterioration of society. And here, let me go ahead and just show you where I'm at it. Tell me that it's not exactly like the Three World Wars by Albert Pike. The social cataclysm. The social cataclysm. Right here. Okay, let me pull out this. And boom. I'm not going to read the whole thing, guys. I just want to get to the Third World War. It must be fermented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the State of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilist and the atheist, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nation the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, like what we just seen, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out into the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Yeah, dude. So, that's what they're doing. That's what they're feeding right into. But why, you may ask? because of this, right? They're trying to bring all of this in.
Hey, welcome back to my subs on YouTube. Welcome.
And I'm not gonna, sorry, Brandon, but you see here this dark motherfucker below below the moon. This is what they're worried about. And I'll show a video on that in a second. You see the skies there, man. This shit's coming, and it's coming fast. And nobody's ready for it. More and more fireballs each day, too. And surprise meteor showers and all of this. That's why the soldiers are all set up all across the world right now. They're just waiting on the real fucking deal. When it pops off, they're going out and they're murdering everybody afterwards. That's what they're gonna do, man. And they're all gonna be brainwashed by the frequencies they're being bombed by. They won't be able to break it. They'll be plugged in. It'll be too late. They're all taking the mark of the beast. Every last one of them. They're not gonna allow them not to. And look at this shit, man. Yeah, what do you think's causing that? Zeus. That's why they say China has plasma weapons that can strike a single man. Look at this motherfucker. You gotta be kidding me, man. That lighting up nighttime. Same type of thing. They're telling you it's all SpaceX and all this shit. Looks like hail to me. You see the objects right there? Zipping around the moon. And here's what I mean. Check this out. This is fucking crazy. Wild, man. Here, and I've got a bunch of these too. What in the fuck is that, dude? And I believe that this is in, like, Colombia, why this shit is going on, and it's up in the sky. What in the fuck was that, dude? I've got another too. Watch. It's fucking wild shit, dude. Raw footage from Israel's Iron Dome. Yeah, and see, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Right now, and you see it in the Third World War, what was it? The Muslim Arabic world and the political state of Israel, the Zionists, right? And you have Hamas and Israel fighting like cats and dogs right now. Check this out. I'm I don't even know, man. I'm sorry. I have no clue what the hell is going on. Here's another one. Jerusalem versus Gaza. Does any, just kind of putting it out there, does anybody think that it could possibly be, I mean, it very much looks like missiles or bombs, but I mean, you know, how many of you out there think there's a possibility that this could be like something else, right? Like something coming from the sky or trying to cover up something possibly coming from the sky. I don't know. It looks pretty damn close to just looking like bombs flying, just to keep it real, but what's bringing fear? Yes. The rockets are fear tactics. James, I absolutely agree with you 1000%, man. Toxic disintegrating weapons. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this could be fucking fireworks for all we know. Guys, I go with James in the chat here. He just brought up a really good point, man. Drones, I'll show you a drone in about 2 seconds, Lynn. A Turkish drone. They just rolled out a new one. Crazy as hell, too. You're praying for tidal waves? Nah, man. Nah, you don't want to go out like that. You know, make it a meteor or something. You know, it hit you. You'll be gone before it even hits you. Iron Dome. Hey, I'm just saying, it kind of looks like fireworks too. And what James was saying, the lights and the sirens and all of that, it's an incredible fear tactic. We have to understand this is the grand finale and the harvest. Dark entities that eat fear, eat negativity. Grand finale, and the world governments are on that side. So, and it could be to distract us from what's really coming. Yeah, it could be. The Iron Curtain. Yep. Sounds like them too. Yeah, fireworks. Yeah, it does. Oh! And if you notice in this one, don't it? I do notice one thing though. I'm going to point this out. It looks like they're shooting them up at the sky. That don't even make no sense. Why wouldn't they be dropping down on the ground? Do you think they could be shooting it like trying to open up the firmament or something? I mean, honestly, think about it. You know, I don't put shit past these people. Oh! Yeah, notice every one of them seem to, hit in the sky there, man. Just saying, dude. Just saying. And you have this kind of shit coming in. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell there's so much fucking bullshit right now. They could be lighting off fireworks because of this stuff. And don't tell me that they don't work together. They absolutely do. I don't give a fuck who they are. All the world governments are together. Every last one of them. Look at that. You can see both of them right there. Rising and setting together. Look at that. That's clear as day right there. Don't tell me it's a fucking lens flare or something either. They aren't moving. That's why all this shit's popping off. That's why. Check this out too. This is wild as shit. The lady's filming the sky, and look at this line she finds. Or man, sorry. It's right here. It's like a line going across the sky. I don't know if you guys can see that at home. But it's a line going across the sky. Weird as fuck. It made me think of the Boogeyman channel in Skydome Atlantis. Right off the rip it did. Yeah. This is, take a look at this too. I was looking at stereo ahead. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure nothing's going on up there. It's all good, right? I'm sure we're cool. Maybe I'm just overreacting. No trash or debris up there at all. It's just, I'm sure nothing's going on, Whatever, right? Just saying. And if you look at this image, man, I can see a bunch of shit. I don't know what the fuck they got going on up here, but this is crazy. This is crazy as shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the stars, man. Always been there. We're good. Look in Discord. What am I looking in Discord for? I'll go. Now look at that. Yeah, exactly. Crazy, ain't it, man? Weird shit. And look, you can see the object move out over here. Hold on. Right here, you like see the shadow like moving across right there. It's weird. And then all of a sudden the camera just boom. See? Big flare. Bam. I don't know. Justin, was you telling me to look in Discord? Tie-dye CD. That's what it looks like. Yeah, tie-dye CD. That's fucking funny. More firecrackers. Yeah, that's what it is. It's more firecrackers. Hold on. I thought you was talking to me. Oh, there it is. Is that from my old video, Justin? Here, let me post this. And this is it. Yeah, man. This is from, I use that for unveiling the artificial apocalypse. Hold on, let me drop this so you guys can see it. This is fucking wild. This is wild. Let me go over to Facebook here. Okay, yeah, this is the image, the same one I used, man, right here. Here. Sorry I'm not blowing you guys away tonight. I usually got more crazy shit happening. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, that's me live. Hi. Okay. Damn, son. I thought I posted that shit. Hold on, guys. 1 second. The fuck is it? I'm going to show you guys this picture. Has it not posted? Okay, that's weird. There it is. Alright, here we go. Sorry, guys. Had to wait for it to load up. Right there. Look at this, man. Look at this. This is an old school one, guys. This is from my video Unveiling the Artificial Apocalypse. That's what this came from. I don't know where Justin got it. I don't know if he got it from the actual video or what he did. Or the original source or what. But good one. Oh, thank you, Liana. It's all an illusion. Look at that, guys. That's the best fucking Sky Dome Atlantis footage you'll ever see in your life. Look at that. It's a wheel and pulley system, dude. It's like stadium lighting and shit. Yeah. Look at that, guys. That's the sun. That is the sun right there. Right? That's the sun. Not much going on tonight, John. You're always entertaining. Well, that's good. Sneaky. Well, I'm glad Justin remembers shit. You know, hey, but this is one of the images. When I did this video, it got a strike. It could have been me talking about, quantum dot invading your nervous system, crawling up your spinal cord into your brain. That could be why, but I don't know. I thought it was the image. Just saying. We live in Westworld. I love Westworld, by the way. I love fucking Westworld, man. You're missing out if you don't watch Westworld. Yeah, it's wild shit, guys. It's wild shit. I mean, there it is. There's that drone I was talking about. Behold, the Turkish Navy's drone aircraft carrier. Drone aircraft carrier. How about that? That's about to be the new thing with all of them, man. It's the drone shit. Turkish industry appears to have figured out an effective way of launching fixed-wing drones from ships. The brute simple method, which combines a winch and pulley system with a bow ramp, and help the Turkish Navy transform into a new assault ship. Anadolu into the world's first true drone aircraft carrier. The arrangement also should allow Anadolu to embark and launch manned planes, although it's unlikely Turkey can develop a carrier plane that can take off from Anadolu's 761-foot deck while also carrying a useful load of fuel and weapons. Wow. The new launch during an online event last week.
TB3 üstüne görüyor musunuz ekranda?
Evet,
Evet şu an geldi.
Evet görüyoruz.
Bu da işte TB3'ün bizim Sedef Tersanesi tarafından üretimi yapılan Anadolu havuzu çıkarma gemimizdeki işte Bayraktar TB3'ün aslında iniş ve kalkış konseptini gösteren bir resim. O da hızlı bir şekilde devam ediyor. Çok güzel bir proje olacak ve gerçekten bu anlamda onun da ciddi bir...
Yeah, okay, I thought we was gonna actually see something. What the fuck, dude? Can't stand that shit. FEMA's flood insurance program is about to undergo major changes. Get ready for the tsunami.
That brings Megan Desmond peace.
I'm like basically almost in the ocean.
She grew up by the water and now owns a home along the coast. But living in a place like this also comes with a bit of uncertainty.
And basically for like 3 days after a storm, that tides are really high and the sea is still very rough. So every time it hits the wall, you can just feel it vibrating. So it's formidable.
After each winter storm, Megan sees more and more of the coastline here disappear. It's part of the reason she pays nearly $6,000 a year in flood insurance.
There's a huge risk and the deductible's kind of high, but what's it going to cost?
Yeah, well, I can tell you this right now, guys. FEMA, they've just dropped, the whole funeral shit with all the C-19 stuff, and now they're doing the flood shit. Guys, pay attention. They're showing you what the fuck is going on. Romanian president says more NATO presence needed in Eastern Europe. Man, this is where they showed in that asteroid fucking simulation, that was going to be devastated. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he's actually calling for that. Astronomers keep finding mysterious circular rings in the sky and don't know how to explain them. Ooh, shit, it's ghostly. Yeah, it looks like a smudge on the fucking camera lens. In the last few years, astronomers have spotted a handful of gigantic and almost perfectly circular radio objects out in the distant universe, though no one has an explanation for these mysterious entities yet. A team has recently added another one into their catalog, potentially moving them closer to solving this head-scratcher. The enigma began shortly after the Australian Square Kilometre Array Pathfinder, a bank of 36 colossal dishes in Western Australia that scans the heavens in the radio part of the electromagnetic spectrum, began producing maps of the entire night sky in 2019. Looks like it's under fucking water to me. Looks like it's underwater to me. That's all it looks like to me, man. I'm not worried about it. Brilliant fireball spotted over Minnesota by doorbell cameras. You mean by fucking spy cameras that they tricked your dumbass into putting in your doorbell? Yeah. We got some color for a second on that last one, and as always, it was green. Kuntas, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, guy, sorry, seeks to make extra cash with a supermoon flight to nowhere. This is fucking weird. This is what I want to say about that one. Australian flag carrier Qantas is hoping to cash in on a rare supermoon and full lunar eclipse event by offering a one-off flight to nowhere with free-flowing cosmic cocktails and cake. Just 100 seats will be available for the event, with tickets starting at $499 for economy and rising to $1,500 for business. The supermoon flight to nowhere later this month will be the fourth time Qantas has sought to generate some much-needed extra income with pandemic-era sightseeing flights. The original flight to nowhere last September, which is a low-level flyby across Queensland and the Northern Territory and New South Wales, sold out in less than 10 minutes. That is fucking weird, man. It's just me. That's fucking weird. Like, flight to nowhere because it's a blood moon. Okay. Probably fucking, they know something's going to blow up on the ground. They're trying to go up there and fly around. Supermoon total lunar eclipse will be visible over the Pacific Northwest in late May. Lunar eclipse this month will be a little more special than usual, occurring as the moon makes one of its closest approaches to the Earth all year. The supermoon total lunar eclipse will take place in the early morning hours of May 26th, and most of the event will be visible from the Pacific Northwest. Yep. I'm really wondering about this this blood and supermoon and all this. Let's go jump back to the iPad goat shit now, and I'll finish the news afterwards. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this one or not. I have it on the video in my whole library here, but I don't want to dig it up, so we'll just watch the video instead. iPet Goat 3, right? We already know iPet Goat, and we've talked about how, May and how you can see the mosque getting its ass lit up. The market plunge, US dollar, you've all heard me say it 1,000 times. And bam. Right? There you go. Right? There you go. And your nuclear war, and I think that we're in this whole part of it. And when we look at 3, let's switch over to 3. This one's interesting. Not made by the same people. Not made by the same people. Okay. Well, when we look at this one, man, first off, I'm not going to dissect the whole fucking thing. But I did want to point out a couple of things. I'm not with the whole, Muslim stuff. But I do believe that the monotheistic, if you really know where monotheism comes from, and essentially all of the mysteries come from Ishmaelism, right? And the Mad Arab. So Muslims, Islam, and Freemasonry are naturally, aligned, right? Like they are truly aligned, whether people know that or not. The Abrahamic religions are all essentially worshiping the same God too. So I see why they chose to go that route with it, because it's all Saturn worship, and that's why they were showing the black cube of Saturn right here, right? Mecca, right? Because that's what they're all worshiping. But when we look here, right there, man, was it Nostradamus talks about Mars and Jupiter in France. Well, maybe this is what he was talking about. I don't know. But we can see here, right, the dead man walking, right, and dancing and shit like that, because I think it's symbolizing him being manipulated, right, like transhumanist type shit. Matter of fact, his skeleton looks like it's metal or something also. And you see the dead person next to him, right? And what happens? They jab him, right? So it's showing you, both sides of that. You see Nemesis in the background here. Or perhaps the blood moon. I'm not quite sure which one they're trying to depict here. Was that huge eye supposed to be God? I'm not quite sure. Just to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure. Heard France will be nuked. If the CGI downgrade was a conscious choice, kudos for creativity, but I have a hard time thinking they meant to do it. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. And the huge eye is supposed to be God. I think it's like think about it. Earth is an eye. Your third eye is the place of God. So very much it could be, like rebelling against God, but I think it's got more to do with us and our consciousness, right? Because the earth is a giant eyeball. Right, all of the altars and shit, right? Christ said not one stone left on top of the other. It's because we're connected collectively. Or is it the hidden eye? It could be. What did you just watch? You got that Islam will destroy the Jesuits. That the eye is their symbol. Well, the eye is a symbol of Saturn. It's the symbol of Saturn. On the south pole of the planet Saturn is the all-seeing eye. That's what that's for. So anytime you see the eye, it's because he's the capstone. Satan is the capstone of everything, right? He's the chief archon. He's Samael, right? And so he's always at the top of the pyramid. You took that to mean massive earthquake. Maybe the all-seeing eye is the moon. I don't. The moon is called Levin, which means sin. Right? The moon is called Levin, which means sin. Yeah, it is an evil eye. The eye of Lucifer. Yeah, I'm starting to think Lucifer and Satan have some similarities. I think they're brothers. I think they're Enki and Enlil. Yes, Saturn is the Abrahamic god. Abraham comes from Brahma, right? Brahma, right? And Brahma is like what? The bull that destroys in Rebirth, right? And they were showing the bull's head getting cut off, right? The golden bull, right? And remember, they come down from the mountain. That's Marduk, right? They were worshiping Marduk, right? They were cutting that off. So it means Marduk's age is over, right? When they were beheading this golden bull here. Just like in the days of Moses there. Where's it at? Right there. And see the World Bank is being represented, right? The Golden Bull, Yahweh. This is the system, the structure of Marduk. And I'm not sure what they're trying to depict right here, but I do know that this is from the Egyptian glyphs here, Isis and Osiris and Ra here. So I wonder if they're showing the celestial alignment right here, right? Notice, see Saturn is right in front of the sun, right? See the sun behind here, and then you see Saturn's capstone right there, right? And then Isis and Osiris right to the right and left. You know what I mean? I believe it's showing like, that alignment of those stars possibly. It's hard to tell with these motherfuckers, man. Their shit's kind of really cryptic. I've never deciphered this one or decoded this one. And then this is what I mean here. Look, he's like a ghost, right? But he's got like metal bones. He's a transhumanist, right? That's what that's depicted. And he's dancing because he's being controlled, right? He's being like, somebody's controlling him, right? And he's dancing and shit. And then this guy here looks like he can't breathe and he falls over, right? And I don't know if this is the blood moon. It kind of looks like it, right? You can kind of see like what looks like features of the moon right here, or Nibiru, I don't know. But you see this giant asteroid, and I believe they show another big asteroid at the very beginning too. Hold on, where is it at? Yeah, I think it's like Apophis probably, but I'll show it in a second. But watch. See how his bones are like metal and he's dancing and shit. And then this guy falls over from not being able to breathe. He's doing the robot. You get me? Because he's a transhumanist. I'm just hoping this makes sense. And see? The jab. This is most definitely the delivery of the Antichrist here, right? This magical looking bird. I don't know if it's supposed to be a griffin or what the fuck it's supposed to be doing. There. See? There. Looks like a giant rock, but I don't know if this is also, if you see the depictions of, and look in the background there too. I don't know if you guys can see that also. Oh, shit. Right? Something behind there. Right? But there's a fire in the sky. You see the eye going back and forth between the two pillars, I think is what it's trying to represent. And this is either the coronavirus or an asteroid. That's what I'm saying. They really ambiguous with a lot of this shit. You know, but if you've ever seen like the spike protein, that's what it looks like, don't it? Like the spike protein. Yay, nay. He's dancing because he's not real, so none of this bothers him. He's doing the robot. He's doing the robot to show you that his bones are made of metal and he's doing the robot. Yeah, he has no soul. He's a transhumanist. He's the one that, like, it didn't kill. The other guy's, like, gasping for air and falls over, dead. And then they jab him. And then that guy's got metal bones and he's doing the robot. Right? He's showing you. It's transhumanism. And then, see, this is the spike protein, I think. It's either spike protein or an asteroid. Right? There's a face in there. Yeah. If you read the Quran, it's the end time story in their book. The man is called El Mahdi, and he will lead the Muslims to conquer the Zionists, and then Jesus will come and kill the Antichrist. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's riders on a white horse, rider on a black horse. But, I mean, I'm just telling you, all the religions go together. Yeah, asteroids. Yeah, you can see the asteroids in the fire, too. I would love to know what that symbol is. It looks like Osiris, kind of, his symbol. So they're making Jesus Osiris, I guess? I don't know. And see, there's the mosque right there, but not really sure what they're trying to do with a lot of this stuff. I'm being honest with you. Well, there they do depict the communism that happens to the United States. Watch, he shoots down the eagle. And it's showing, like a strip club, right? Because, Babylon intoxicate the world with their sins, right? And see, it said democracy, and then it says demo, freedom, like demolition. Yeah, this one's not as impressive as the other one, I know. And I know this is like 64 here, but if you took 64 and reversed it, would be 46. What president are we on? Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I believe this one tells the story a lot clearer, just to be honest, right? And one thing you'll notice when it shows a nuclear war here, I believe they're depicting China. Hold on. There's your mark of the beast right there, right? We talked about that, right? The Eye of Ra. He's got the scarab, crawling across his face there. And then bam, right? Like the wound on the forehead, right there. And then watch, he's animatronic. See, just like in the other one, how the other one was a robot person. Look, he's depicted as it too, right? Animatronic. And see the skull and bones right there is the one doing it. And he pulls the string with his left hand as he's holding up this. Right there. See right there? The yin and the yang. That's either representing like North and South Korea, but I think it's representing China, right? Like the yin yang, right? China showing them right here. And see, she's even got the tiger on the back of her shit there. And I believe it happens in May. But you could also think 4th of July, too, when you see the fireworks in the background here. So, just wanted to point that out as well. Where am I at with my shit here? Somewhere. I had something to show you guys before I left. Yeah, Israel, Hamas continues to exchange fire as deadly confrontation persists.
Just outside the Gaza Strip. Trey.
Harris, good morning. It's hard to believe that just 24 hours ago, you and I were talking about 6 rockets being fired towards the city of Jerusalem. Since then, hundreds of rockets have been fired from Gaza into southern Israel.
Hey.
Above me now, Israeli fighter.
Notice he says 6 rockets. Look at the time. It says live, 6:36 p.m. What the fuck, man? They think they're slick, don't they? They really do. See? 6:36. Evil. Right? Evil. 6:36.
Jets are striking targets along the Gaza Strip. This conflict has erupted quickly, violently, and bloody. At least 2 Israelis are dead, dozens injured, and the Palestinian Health Ministry inside Gaza says 28 people have been killed there, including several children. Hamas is trying a new tactic.
Of course, 28, right? 2 times 8 is 16. 6. 1 times 6 is 6, right? Dude.
With Israel's missile defense system firing rockets very low to try to get around the interceptors. So all day in the city of Ashkelon, they have been seeing barrages of rockets. At one point, there was a 2-hour period where more than 140 were fired into this part of Israel. Take a look as we were reporting from this school that was hit by a rocket that slipped just by the missile defense system. Hamas, once again, is trying to deceive the Israeli Iron Dome missile defense system and firing different barrages of rockets so that it can hit different targets inside southern Israel. The sirens right now are blaring all around the city of Ashkelon, warning people they need to head for bomb shelters. You can hear the interceptions right now.
Wow.
So often, the people affected most by this type of conflict are the civilians. Civilians in Gaza City and civilians in cities like Ashkelon. And they have so much in common, but their governments and militaries are so far apart. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he will increase the severity of strikes along the Gaza Strip. This as the Qassam brigades inside Gaza confirmed to Fox News that they plan to continue rocket fire into the southern part of the country. The Israeli military preparing for the possibility of many different options, including a ground operation. We know 5,000 reserve troops have been called up in preparation for what the coming days could bring. And we also know that in Gaza, 3 Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket commanders were killed, and this has added to the amount of rocket fire and pressure on the factions there to respond forcefully against Israel. Harris.
This escalates.
Damn, son. And I guarantee he's standing in a fucking building that's been bombed decades ago, trying to make it, gas you up 100 times more. The whole Iron Dome shit, that's so symbolic, right? The Beast of Daniel, right? The iron mixed with miry clay. Bloodshed in the Holy Land continued after the militant groups in Gaza exchanged rocket fire, with the recent death toll up to 2 Israelis and 28 Palestinians, including 10 children. God, dude. And of course, attack on a 13-story building, 130 rockets. See, none of this shit, man, I swear to you, they do this stuff on purpose. This is fucking gematria. They're using numerology, specific numbers, man. Absolutely crazy. New geologic process calls for changes to plate tectonic cycle. Oh yeah. See, this is just another fucking thing where they lied to you your whole life, and now that they can't hide it anymore. They're now going to tell you how we got a new understanding of this. They always knew it was like this, man. Always. Colonial Pipeline sparks panic buying, leaving more than 1,000 gas stations across several states without fuel. Yep, this is coming. They've been telling you about the gas shortages that were on the way for quite a while now. Faraway NASA probe detects the eerie hum of interstellar space. Let's listen to the eerie hum. I want to hear the eerie hum. Where's the fucking hum? It represents the background noise in a vast expanse between star systems. Sure it does. Sure it does. The fake space. Right? There are frequencies coming off of objects. I mean, are they not going to give us the hum? No? Maybe? Let's see. I guess not. No hum, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought we would get an eerie hum. NASA Wallops rocket launch scrubbed again. Reset for Wednesday night. Look at this dude down here. I can't breathe. Yeah. How many times are you going to scrub that launch? You know what I'm saying? How many times? And look at that. Fucking despicable. Fucking despicable. And this is despicable too. The DHS stands up domestic terror intelligence team. They're coming after you, dude. Told you this was going to happen. The Biden administration is placing new focus on domestic extremism, but advocates of those previously caught in the crosshairs aren't sold. When President Joe Biden addressed Congress last month, he said white supremacist terrorism is the greatest threat to the U.S. now, as the White House prepares to release its report on domestic terrorism. The Department of Homeland Security is also continuing to shift its focus to domestic threats. The Department of Homeland Security's intelligence arm is setting up a dedicated team to focus on domestic terrorism. Two DHS officials told Politico the team will have several full-time personnel. DHS is renaming and refocusing a separate office that has drawn criticism for its prior work fighting extremism. They are fucking criminals, dude. They target innocent fucking people and torture them. The move comes as the department is increasing its focus on domestic terrorism and violent threats. They don't go after violence. They go after innocent people, and they try to push them to commit suicide. Anybody who knows what a targeted individual is knows exactly what the fuck they do to people. They're murderers. DHS is grappling with growing threats of domestic terrorism, particularly attacks perpetrated by white supremacists. And they're creating more divide and conquer. So you should hate me, I'm white. The Biden administration and DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas may have made countering the threat a top priority and launched an internal review scrutinizing domestic extremism in the department's ranks. See, they're fucking kicking out anybody who doesn't go along with it. They're the extremists. They're the terrorists. Earlier this year, DHS sent on its first ever National Terrorism Advisory System bulletin about domestic terrorism. Of course they did. Anybody who disagrees is a fucking terrorist. But addressing the threat presents complex challenges, and groups representing American Muslims and others focused on civil rights aren't convinced the department will get it right. Of course they won't. Gosh, dude. People are fucking nuts to think that this is a good idea.
States wherever they come from. Al-Qaeda and ISIS are in Yemen, Syria, Somalia, other places in Africa, in the Middle
Al-Qaeda. It's Al-Qaeda, just like they was in 9/11. I'm a hologram. Watch me. You know, this is bullshit. Trump set it up, and now this motherfucker's going to finish it off. It's that simple, dude. That simple. And nobody agrees with these people, but they just push it on the television like everybody does. And then dumb fucks believe it. You know what I mean? That's how it works. We all know how it works now. Well, people who watch this channel knows how it works. Nobody likes them. Nobody agrees with them. Right? Nobody gives a fuck about anything that they're trying to get you to give a fuck about. But then they push it out through propaganda, through your commercials and music industry and movies and all that. And they try to convince you that everybody is on their side and everybody agrees and everybody hates an extremist and all of this. It's just fucking hogwash. Garbage. This goofy fucking idiot ain't even in charge of nothing. And we all know that as well. Right? When he went to take questions, they jerked his ass off the stage.
Middle East and beyond. And we won't ignore what our intelligence agencies have determined to be the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism. We're not going to ignore that either. My fellow Americans, look, we have to come together to heal the soul of this nation.
To steal the soul of this nation.
Before her father's funeral, when I spoke with Gianna Floyd, George Floyd's young daughter, she's a little tyke, so I was kneeling down to talk to her.
And inappropriately touching her.
So I could look her in the eye. She looked at me, she said, "My daddy changed the world." Well, after the conviction of George Floyd's murderer, we can see how right she was if we have the...
Man, fuck this, dude. I can't handle it. All right, man. My CIA fake daddy changed the world. My CIA fake daddy changed the world. Remember when his lawyer came out on Facebook and said that he died 3 years ago? My CIA fake daddy changed the world. I know. How did this dude get to be in charge of a country? I don't believe Floyd. No. Floyd was dead before any of that ever happened. I believe he is dead. He died 3 years prior, according to his actual attorney. Remember? And then they deleted his Facebook for saying it. Yeah. They gagged his ass fast. He came out on Facebook and posted and said, I'm dude's attorney, and he died 3 years ago. I handled his death and was able to get, to shift everything to his sister's possession. He was a vegetable and shit. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, dude, we all know what's up. Nobody fucking... I know, he's always got a story full of shit. I know, it's so stupid, man. I know. And there's people that are, into this shit, too. They're, tearing up and shit when he's telling his bullshit lies, right? I don't know. I can't hang no more, guys. I'm sorry. Just can't do it. I do thank you guys. Eric, I don't know about that, bud. I think... B.O.B. 13013 was most definitely a big part of all of this. But it's more in my opinion, it's like Satan, the archons that run the real show, right? Obama's a puppet too. He's a puppet too, and he's not the Antichrist. He's not. I don't think we've seen that yet. I don't think it'll be human. You know what I mean? Like this guy, he's the one who was and was not and is yet to come probably because he was vice president and all of that. And we've had Cyrus, Trump was Cyrus. We've had quite a few of, what I think was being depicted in the Bible. Who knows, right? Yeah, no, he's not. Black goo. Man, I need to learn more about the black goo. I see people talk about that all the time. It's been a while. He needs a big-ass gold chain. Dude, YouTube fucking is experimenting with hiding thumbs downs because he was getting so fucking many of them, and they disable every comment on his videos. It's so funny. They forgot to do it one time, and man, people was going ham on his ass. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. All right, well, yeah. I do appreciate you guys for watching tonight. I'm going to do, I'm probably going to do 2 shows tomorrow. I'm going to try to do 2 shows. So I'm going to try to do, now that I figured out the code, guys. I cracked the code, didn't I? They didn't kick me off tonight. It worked what I did. I'm not saying what I did, but I thought it might. And fuck you, YouTube. You didn't help me at all. They started doing it to my 3rd channel too, guys. I don't know if you know that. They was doing it to all 3 of them. All 3 of them. Craziness. But yeah, so I cracked the code. You know. Make sure to subscribe to John Keen too. That's my 3rd channel. It's youtube.com/JohnKeenBDP. That's my number 3 channel. Please do that if you haven't. Matter of fact, it's on my main channel. If you scroll down, I've got, Best Damn Podcast Official, Best Damn Podcast, and John Keen. And make sure you subscribe on or follow on D Live if you haven't. I'm trying to get my D Live game up, so please do that for me. And Facebook. If you haven't followed me on Facebook, facebook.com/Best Damn Podcast, or my personal page, but you can't follow that, I don't think. I'm at the friend maximum, so never mind. But if you want to donate, you can do that through my personal page. You got to add me as a friend, I think. And then it's through Instant Messenger, and it's John Keen, Best Damn Podcast. Facebook, and Facebook, Best Damn Podcast. Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and Instagram, Best Damn Podcast. So make sure you're checking all of those things out and following me on all those things. It really does help me a lot if you do. Hit the like if you're in the chat right now, no matter what you're on. If you're watching this later, hit the like. Please comment after the show is over for me. I would really appreciate it. And share the links. I need your help sharing and getting these things out there. I'm serious, guys. They're stifling the fuck out of me, and I don't know what to do if you guys don't help me. I mean, I'm just gonna fade into the background. Don't want that to happen. Yeah. Well, he's a piece of shit. That guy is. He can cover a statue and then uses jizz to make his fucking painting. He's a piece of shit. You're the man, brother. You're the man. You're the man. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Support PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App. I'm going to do the Best Damn Fam Live tomorrow night. Like I said, I'll try to do an early show for the freebie, and then do the private afterwards, so I can give everybody the heads up, so I don't get emails and texts of people cussing me out and shit. Somebody wanting a refund for fucking $20. I'm like, okay, you can have it. You can have it. All right, man. All right, thank you. Thank you, Claudette Malespina, Chris Meyer, my homie, Wide Awake and Angry, Ryan S. Yeah, mad love. Charlie Jones over on Facebook, Brett Nash, Gwendolyn Morales, I Am Karen, Miss Priss, Wildflower 1, Rebecca R.P. Webb, DF, Seth Blue, Sasquatch Pants, Wide Awake and Angry Eyes to See 7-Eleven, Liana Morgan. Awesome guys. I appreciate you. Jeffrey McLean. Well, there is Jeffrey. Hi, Jeffrey. That's my homie too, guys. Carol Jensen. Mark Anthony. Eric Bartlett. Cool, guys. Cool. I'm seeing some new names in here, man. That's what's up. Null Squidtron. JC. Hi, JC. Thank you, guys. Rachel Kneebone. Oh, you didn't on D Live. Thank you, guys. I love you all, man, so much. Like I said, support, like, comment, share, and remember, Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. God bless you guys. I love you, and I will see you next time. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Peace.